Why isn't your injector booked out? She has the training. You have all the best products. You're posting consistently. So why is her schedule still not full? So frustrating, right? Why are you not more profitable with your injector? Well, stay tuned because we got the answer for you. I'm Caitlin Kaufman, founder and CEO of Diamond Accelerator, and I've built a multi-million dollar empire serving some of the fastest growing med spas in the country. I'm rooted in systems and the belief you are worthy of wealth and the life you love. I'm not here to talk about luck. I believe in systems and execution. And above all, I believe this: you don't get what you want, you get what you believe you're worthy of. And I'm here to raise the standard. And I'm so excited to have Yvonne Delos, owner of Medical Aesthetic Art Institute, voted so many things, Best Training Institute of the Year in 2021, founded and scaled and eventually sold her own practice, a huge success story, great author, and hosts an amazing annual summit in Park City, Utah in September that you have to check out. In fact, stay to the end because we'll be sharing a special discount code where you can receive $200 off that ticket. But welcome, Yvonne. I want to dive right in because I know you have so much value to add here on how to help grow an injector's business. So I want to dive right in. What do you see as the biggest mistake that you see injectors make when they're trying to grow and their schedule is sitting empty?
I love this question, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm so grateful to be here. One of my favorite things I've heard is your Instagram will not build your business, but it will support your business. And I think all too often, injectors take a course, they become the injector, and then they just think that, oh, because I can do this, that people will show up. And so I've actually created a booked solid injector guide. So if anyone that wants it, just DM me and we'll get that to you. Um, and the webinar, but really, it still goes back to old school. You still have to hit the pavement. You still have to go out and find those patients. And one of my favorite quotes is a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You have to ask for what you want. You have to be visible and you got to go out there and knock doors. You got to build relationships because just because you build it doesn't mean they're just going to come.
They really do have that belief when they're starting out is I got trained, I have the beautiful room or practice, I have the best products. So, and I posted a few times on Instagram. So why are they not coming? They think that when they see success with other injectors that it happened overnight for them. But they showed up not just for a day, a week, a month, or even a year, right? Like it takes consistently showing up and doing all the things on repeat, right?
100%. And building relationships, it is so relationship based. And one thing that we pride ourselves in and our success is our relationships are transformational, not transactional. The transaction comes as a byproduct. So we believe in building up our injectors and building up our community and supporting one another and truly being there. Like we really, really have beautiful relationships with our students that have stayed with us, that reach out, that take advantage of the mentoring, that take advantage of the coaching, that come to the community events, that come to the summit. And so we build them up. Just because you took a 1 day training, you're not ready. I tell them all the time, your brain is only going to retain 20% of the information I'm sharing with you today. In our program, we let them come back a second time as an intern. They do not have to pay to come back a second time. And once a month, I do a live webinar free. It's included in their original purchase price where I answer all their questions. And then I do free webinars on how to build your clientele. And one thing that I tell them that is what I did, 12 plus years ago, is I found friends and well, a lot of them were already friends, like hairstylists. And so my Park City location, well, Heber location just outside of Park City, that clientele was built by my hairstylist. And my Las Vegas clientele was built by my eyelash girl. True story. Because they tell everybody they're with women all day, every day. And most of them have already built their clientele. And so they just start talking about you. And it got to the point where I grew organically and I grew so quickly that we ended up expanding and it all just kind of unfolded. But if you think that you're going to just sit in your office and scroll and watch what everybody else is doing, energetically, that's actually doing more harm than good. Then if you actually get out and meet people and go to events, go do things in your community, surround yourself with other people and don't go out with the intention of, oh, I'm going to see what they can do for me. Go out with the intention of how can I serve other people? Because whatever you put out, it's the law of the universe. Whatever you put out, it's coming back to you tenfold. And that can be good or bad.
So what I just heard from you, just to break that down a little bit further, when you say go out and build relationships to help bring in, that word of mouth, allow other people's influence to help build your business, is to find people that are in different business industries but share the same audience, like your hairdresser, your lash person, a high-end interior designer, or a high-end real estate or furniture or clothing boutique, right? They all have the same exact target audience that you want to serve and work with, but they're not your competitors.
Right. Yeah. And another thing I did was I joined a women's business group where we supported each other's businesses. And then I would really watch my community of what new businesses were coming into town. And I'd go in and I'd introduce myself. And I'd be like, look, I'm in business too. If you ever need help, if you just need a friend that understands business or you want to chat business, let's do coffee. And I go out and introduce myself to people. I build those relationships. And then in turn, it just happens to that they want to support me. It happens all the time. I'm just out there looking to make new friends and support other people, and it just comes back to me.
I love that so much. We had a great success story here with Diamond where we helped launch and open a new med spa. And before the doors even opened, they had over 200 memberships pre-sold because they went out and built relationships in their community with other business owners that shared the same target demographic but weren't their competitors. So they came and was like, hey, I will donate these free services that you can raffle off or use for your events or your team sales promos when you share with your client database about my grand opening and my services. And they loved it. It was a win-win for everyone.
Yes, and we did that when we opened up our George location. We met with other women that had small businesses, and we did a group grand opening for everyone. It was supportive. We had food trucks, we had music, we had all kinds of things there. And it was not just our grand opening, we made it for everyone. And another thing is like literally everywhere you go is a potential customer. So I was at the gym one day and I saw this girl laying there doing abs, and I was like, hey, I have a really killer ab workout. You want me to share it with you? We became friends, and she owns one of the largest hair studios in town. And we've been friends all these years. And it's just that simple. You just, if you're going to be in business, you got to learn to be uncomfortable because it is very uncomfortable to do things you've never done before. And again, you just got to go out and meet people and talk. And you never know where that relationship's going to. I mean, when it came to writing my book, same thing. I was at a conference. I put myself in the room where other people were, and I picked up this water bottle and it literally like crumbled in my hands. And ironically, a gentleman was walking by and his family owns the largest water bottling company in America. They're billionaires. And we got talking and he ended up connecting me with my editors when and helped me write my book. Like you never know, but everybody, every human being, every interaction is an opportunity for a transformation in some area of your life. So I would just say get out there and talk, meet people.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now we have a lot of business owners that are watching. What advice would you give them of how they could coach their injector and how they can play a role in building their own book of business?
Yes, this is so great because so many business owners get in their head about, oh, I'm terrified if my injector leaves. Listen, we are all going to grow and spread our wings and fly. It is your opportunity to act as a leader and treat them the way you would want your leaders in the past to treat you. And so I've had injectors come and go, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to prime you for your next adventure. I want you to be so dang good that people can't help but talk about you. And truly, it happened. Like one of my student injectors, we brought her on. I actually was going to make her a partner. And she got so good that one of our local medspas snagged her. And she came to talk. I said, girl, I'm your only like, I'm all you know. You started with me. Go spread your wings. And she's been there for 5 years and she's helped her build multiple locations. If you go into anything with a lack mindset, you're going to get lack. People are going to withhold from you. And wouldn't you rather be remembered as, oh my gosh, she was the best mentor. She was the best boss. I learned so much from her. And so you have to become a leader. If you are a business owner and you're the lead injector, you've got to lead others. And you will be so much more successful if you lead with love, integrity, transparency, and support those injectors because they aspire to be like you. So, and support them, help them build their books. Because when you're honest and loving and transparent, and they see that you're doing everything to serve them, they're probably not going to leave you because they value the loyalty that you've provided for them. And again, whatever you put out is going to come back to you. So always reach back and pull them up, support them, and just they're going to talk about you either way. How would you like them to talk about you? Because you are your brand, you are your business, and people are going to talk about you.
Yeah.
So give them something good to talk about. Leave them better than how you found them.
Yeah, and yeah, I love how you when I asked you like what the injector could be doing, you bring it back to the leadership and the example that they set and not to, gatekeep and be in a fearful mindset that if you give too much or say too much or train too much, that they're just going to leave you. Oftentimes we find too when people come to us, they're like, just tell me if I should fire this person if they're not doing, if they're just not going to get it. And often it comes back that I say to the leadership and the support and training and accountability that you are providing them. And in fact, we have a great free training, the Injector Profit Playbook. In fact, comment Injector Profit, and we'll send you this complete free training on where your injector ranks nationally in their revenue per hour and 9 of the common reasons why your injector's revenue per hour is super low. And it always surprises people because they think that, oh, my injector's not doing this and that. And yes, there is always opportunity for that injector to get better. But when you look at the common reasons of why injectors' profitability or revenue per hour are low, it has nothing to do with the injector and it has to do with scheduling and pricing and promotions and service mix and scheduling, all those things. So I love that how you talk about and bring it back to the leader and setting that example first and foremost before asking it of your team.
Yeah, I believe everything starts at the top. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If they're not performing, and I learned, from Brene Brown, being clear is kind. And if you're not clear on the expectations and letting them know what you expect of them, then that really falls upon you as the business owner and the leader. And, really, it's probably one of the hardest things is being a business owner and managing different personalities and different people. But if you're really good at having a clear, crucial conversation, having hard conversations, talking about things one on one and having that conversation immediately and not let it fester and not let it grow, then just talk about those things. But I mean, we could talk business all day because I absolutely love business, but we have a couple like fail proof systems, our 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day, and if they're not cutting it, well, let's see why. But if it comes back to you that you didn't clearly train them, then spend more time with them. But if they're dishonest and they're not a team player, you got to let them go quick. It's like hire slow, fire fast, let them go quickly. But again, as a leader, how you do everything will trickle down to your reputation and to how you run your business. So how you fire them will always trickle back to how you lead too. So
Mhm.
yeah,
A common question that we get or challenge that we see is when an injector lacks confidence. And you are a mindset guru. So I would love to hear how a practice manager, a med spa owner can support an injector that is lacking confidence for one reason or another.
I love this. And yeah, I'm working on my injector confidence guidebook right now because what I have found just about in every injector that lacks, it's lack knowledge, lack confidence. You got to spend more time training. If you don't, when I give them, I literally, our manual, I probably have one right here. It's like thick, our manual. If they don't have that memorized within the first 3 months, and especially before they go to an interview, they're not going to be confident. How can you be confident when you don't have a solid foundation beneath you? How can you walk into a job interview? I'm actually doing helping a student do an interview review tomorrow. So if they take a training with me, I will prep them for an interview because I want to ask you all the questions I would ask if I were hiring you. I want to know how well you know the product. I understand not everyone has time on tissue, right? Not everyone has the 2 year, but that's just an excuse. I want to know how much you know. I want to know what you would do in certain situations. Because if you have character and hunger and drive and willingness, I'll give you an opportunity to prove yourself. And so we're working with a couple of our local med spas to do free intern programs where they can come in and work for free to build the resume and build that experience where they learn everything in a med spa, not just injecting, but truly how to do your job. And we're trying to provide opportunities for them. And really, we've had great feedback so far that people are willing to do that, which I love because you and I know that we need more experienced injectors, and so I'm trying to find that gap of like, how do we bridge that gap of training these new injectors, but getting them trained up well enough to be hireable? And so, going back to your question is, you know, if you don't have confidence, I want to know truly, honestly, be honest with yourself. How much do you truly understand the knowledge you were given in your training? And you really should be interviewing these training programs because I know there's training programs out there that don't give two bits care about you after you leave their program. You need support. You need a community. You need mentoring. You need to be able to have someone review your resume. You need to be able to ask somebody how to get a job and what should I say and what should I know, what should I study. You need that support. And so I try to be the leader that I wish I had 12 years ago. So that's where I show up for my community is I want to give to them what I wish I had, but there's so much free knowledge and training. And if you're starting with, but I don't know how to build a clientele, I don't know how to build, right there, those words are shutting your mind down from any opportunity. You need to have an expansive mind. We're all intelligent beings, but how you speak to yourself is everything. So if you're shutting your mind down from seeking an opportunity to grow and to learn and to evolve, then you're right. You're creating a situation to be stuck mentally.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yvonne, we got some questions from the audience here. First one is, I feel like my market is just saturated, too saturated. There's a med spa on every single corner, and I just like can't compete anymore. How do I grow in a
Oh,
saturated market?
so this is your bossy big sis coming out. And I want to say the only thing that's oversaturated is your mindset. Because again, if you're looking, your mind, we have what's called a reticular activating system in our mind. And if we program it with is it oversaturated? The mind will go out into the world and show you all the reasons it is oversaturated. How can I want you to start saying these words. How can I find one new client today? How can I? And your mind literally will go out and scan your reality, your environment for one new client today. I promise you, it is not oversaturated. We know the statistics, we know the trajectory of the growth of our industry. I bet you could walk next door and ask a neighbor for an egg and get talking and be like, oh my gosh, I just got a new client. I promise you there's so much opportunity, but I want you to program your mind to seek opportunity. I have learned so much about mindset and I've learned about how we speak and how we program our mind. I program my mind for success and I've been blessed beyond, measures like abundance. And that's what my book, From Food Stamps to Fortunes, is all about. You guys, I literally grew up on welfare and food stamps. I grew up so poor that the church had to bring us food and our neighbors gave us hand-me-down clothes. And I've been able to turn my mindset into a money-making machine. And I don't gatekeep. DM me. I will tell you everything. And I've taken in my coaching program, I've taken several injectors, and I don't care the credentials behind your name, whether you're an RN, an NP, or an MD. I've taken them to seven figures their first year, and I'm sure you have too. We understand this, but most of the time we get in our own way. We get in our own way with our mindset. We get in our own way with our language. We get in our own way with our environment. So go out in the world and start asking, how can I find one new client today? That's 30 new clients a month. That's easily $30,000 a month that just came in because you changed the questions you were asking.
Yep. Tony Robbins always says you want a better answer, ask a better question. And not to just sit back and accept something that isn't right with you or feel good or getting you the result that you want. You can't just sit there and say, woe is me, right? You have to look at what other people are doing to win that differentiates them, and create that luxury custom experience. And that doesn't mean having just a pretty light and a fancy logo. Like you don't have to have a beautiful, multi-million dollar facility to deliver luxury and a strong trusted relationship. So don't let that hold you back. All right, next question. Should I lower my prices to get more people in the door?
No, unless you can tell me every profit margin, if you can tell me your numbers, do you have room? Do you have room to lower your numbers? Most people don't know their numbers. And our neuromodulators are our gateway drug. We don't make much money off our neuromodulators. So if you can tell me how much money you would still be making after you lowered your prices and you've calculated all your expenses, then maybe we'll talk about it. But the thing is, I would say you need to raise your standards. Raise your standards on your mindset, raise your standards on your self-image, your self-identity, and raise your standards on the client base that you're seeking. Because most of the time, if you're cutting, you're going to start attracting people that are nickeling and diming everything, right? So, desperation, do not make decisions out of desperation or fear. Always take inspired action after you've done your research too, right? Like we don't need to be cutting our prices. I'm telling you, there's so many multi-million dollar homes popping up here in our community, and we are in a tiny, small rural community. There's money, and people will spend money. It's again, everything is up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I loved our conversation. Like I said, you are my mindset guru, and what a great example to have been there and done that. You practice what you preach. You launched, you scaled, you exited a multi-million dollar med spa, and you're still so passionate about leveling up the med spa community and really investing in today's talent to evolve them, not just as technical injectors, but really the mindset. And that's exactly what med spa owners are looking for all across the country. So this is my special invitation to everyone watching to go to medicalaestheticartinstitute.com and you'll be able to learn how you can get a ticket to this year's MAAI Annual Summit. It's in September. It's in the beautiful Park City, Utah. And Yvonne is giving a special code. It's friend 200. So friend 200, and you can get $200 off that ticket to the annual summit. It's such a good event, you guys. It's intimate, amazing speakers. They're talking about things on the technical side of things of being a better injector with talks and with neuromodulators and fillers. They're talking about the business side, and certainly they're talking about the mindset and the community. It's such a beautiful, wonderful event that I really encourage you to check out. Yes, we will send out, and then when we send out the replay, we'll link up everything so that you can easily find Medical Aesthetic Art Institute and how you can check out her amazing event this summer, this September in Park City, Utah. So, Yvonne, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Bye, guys. You can catch us every Wednesday, same time, same place. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Have an amazing day and go out and grow those injectable patients, appointments, and revenue per hour. Bye, guys.